Hi everyone, delonewolf here, and welcome back to SiSi, the test server for EVE Online. It's been a while, but CCP is holding a new mass test, and yeah, things are developing a little bit. There's some cool stuff that we want to test here. Number one, while CCP Habakkuk is going to get the test underway, I kind of want to show it. So the way we went into the fleets this time was not through the chat windows and then ask for an invite. Instead, what's changing is that in the agency, there's now a fleet up window, and here you can then create fleets that players can join. And we can see there's a fleet X and a fleet W. We're at 100 members. Fleet X is at 119 members, and well, I'm gonna assume it's where the fleet commander is 0 jumps away, so everyone is in FD and we are ready to go. So this is pretty cool. I'm not sure how much I'm going to end up using that myself. I'm more of a solo player, but I think the feature is pretty cool, and this is very intuitive, right? You don't have that much stuff to look for. You can do a range on this. You can also then choose activities, including a miscellaneous, so you can look for or organize a fleet for very specific events. There's apparently a description that you can do here as well, and then you can mark your fleet as being a new player friendly. So didn't really have time to test any of it out, but yeah, it was super intuitive. Very easy. Just find a fleet, ask to join the FC, says yes or no, and there you go. I ended up in fleet W, so this time there's no way to make a mistake. I'm not accidentally invited to fleet X or anything like that. We're at 235 people in local, not that much for a mass test, but I think it will start to give the servers a bit of a run for its money. There's quite a few titans. I'm counting 3 titans, 4 titans on grid, a couple of supers as well, some dreadnoughts, and I myself just chose the nightmare. I changed one thing. I put an afterburner instead of a micro drive in this one. It was a very old nightmare fit that I received from someone, and well, it was from before the nightmare actually received its specific afterburner bonus. So we're good to go, I think. All of this is ready. All of that is ready. Performance, I'm holding at 60 FPS, so that's pretty good, but of course we don't have too much action. And let's see if we can still take a quick look at some of the steps. So basically we're gonna do a lot of jumping, and at the end we'll have a fight. The reason for the jumping is because please be aware that there is a known issue. If you alt tab or minimize your game client during the jump animation, you will experience a black screen. This black screen can be fixed by logging off and back into Singularity. Please do not purposely attempt this, as we would like to have your testing efforts focused on the steps. Thank you. Okay, so that's the second thing. The jump animation through the gate is basically something that they're going to try and bring back another time. I've done one jump here with the nightmare, and it felt very smooth, but of course we don't know what happens when 200 players jump through the same gate at the same time. That could be a little bit interesting, but we will see. So those are the 2 main changes that we know of so far. A fleet finder through the agency, and then the jump animation making its way back. I kind of like it. If it's really smooth, I think it will add a lot to the immersion. Watching your ship go through that warp tunnel is actually pretty damn cool. So hopefully not too many people alt tap or anything like that during this test. I generally don't. Do we see anything special on this one here at the moment? No, we're all good. Quick look at mass questions, maybe. Only jump as requested. Yeah, basically this is how these tests work, of course. You join the mass testing channel, wait for the instructions, and try to follow them as closely as possible. So 240, that's good. We're still climbing, and I kind of wonder how the numbers still go. 113, there we go. I really like this, honestly. Here on the test server, players tend to be pretty chill, and you can see that we actually have a pretty balanced situation, which is something with the random invite. Sometimes you're not aware what's happening in the other fleet, and then you get some problems like a 200 versus 50 in the PvP brawl. So this one ought to be decently balanced and interesting, so we'll see how it works. If you experience any other issues, as always, F12 bug reports. Hopefully with screenshots. Yeah, if we experience anything, I should have a recording of that, of course. And we will start with the first jump in. Oh, still a couple of minutes. So they still want people to be ready. Ooh, man, look at that. That's a small fleet of Triglavian Zenitra dreadnoughts coming on the field as well. And they're not in Fleet X. That's Fleet W. That's going to be interesting to have to deal with during the PvP battle. And then more supers and more of them. Look at that. That's now that's impressive. Look at all of those Triglavian dreadnoughts coming on the field. PvP is forbidden except for the last step. So yeah, just, you know, a little bit of discipline needed for that sometimes, but on this one I think we'll be okay. It's traveling, and then we get our PvP battle at the end. Man, that fleet here, that's actually a big ball of Triglavian bad news. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer. That ship does look, oh my god, that core here in the center looks really cool. And then there's a whole fleet of them. So hopefully I survive long enough so that we can watch them in action. I'm gonna assume that they are well coordinated. It could be cool. Other than that, do we have small targets for me to go after? Because this nightmare has done pretty well. Cruiser stuff. Last time we were able to take some of those down. So Pilgrim, Dracovac maybe. Cerberus should be doable. Hecate, yeah, maybe if he's got. Stradios should be good. Looks like there are some targets to go after, so it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, and I think that's a 5-second cooldown, not, or countdown, not, yeah, there we go, jump to PF. So here we go, the test is starting. I activated this. Little bit of jittery, but this is super smooth, right? My ship coming into view is very nice. And then what's actually important is your transition into PF and you being on grid, which here, I mean, it was what, maybe 1 or 2 seconds that we saw PF before I loaded grid here. So I feel like this was definitely acceptable, and the smoothness, considering the number of players that we're dealing with at the moment, I think is quite okay. Locals already up to 145, and we have to align or vol. So let's do that. And then let's see, as other ships decloak right next to me for the align, including here, is that a Panther. Alright, thought it was maybe a Tech 1, but nope, it's a Panther. Obviously, players do tend to take out some more expensive toys when it comes to these mass tests, but over here, get a couple of neat hoggers. That looks pretty cool. And there we go. This is such a cool view, right? When you've got a nice fleet that's all doing the same thing. Very, very, very cool. So, subcapitals warp to our vol and hold. Okay, so let's see here. I'm guessing that we're not gonna get a fleet warp, so I'm just going to do that. Warp within 0. There they go. Everyone is all the small ships are basically warping off, myself included. And I'm actually in warp with a Leshak as well, an enemy Leshak. So you can imagine both of us are staring at each other in this warp tunnel, knowing that the fight is coming. Subcapitals warp to our vol and hold. Capitals feel free to hold for now. I guess that they'll do like a Sino right off the bat. And I am hiding all brackets just to try and keep performance somewhat okay. It does tend to get pretty busy. One Nix decided to come in with us, another one as well. But here is the subcapital ball, quite a few battleships. And then, yeah, some Helas as well. Loki, Sin, alright. Sigil. It's always a good idea to take some crazy ships as well on these mass tests. The more different things happen, the better. And someone is using all the fireworks. And so that's one of these big gates. Subcaps jump to our vol. Let's do that. I think the supers can't go to our vol. It's HiSec, right? So again, this feels okay. We are in the warp tunnel like a little bit long. I guess that this depends on how quickly you load the other grids, and then just zoom through, and then you're on grid here. So yeah, this is HiSec indeed. So the capitals and supers can't follow us here, and I'm not sure where the next one is, but we'll see. Subcaps jump to our vol. Here we are. Invasion of HiSec, and then warp to gate and holds. All right, we'll do a warp within 0. And you do get a feeling of space, of how large everything is, and you're just, I mean, this is already a nightmare, but you're in your small ship here. I like it, and yeah, hopefully it can just increase immersion a little bit by being able to follow your ship through the gate warps as well. So here we go, everyone is arriving. Back on the gates. Right there. Drake, all right. Sinos, please activate. Sino is up for W, all right. More battleships, battle cruisers, couple of smaller ships here as well. All jump to Ule, and let's press jump. Getting the low sick warning. As a Care Bear, I still get that. So there's a transition, and there's my ship right away. Now we switch to Ule. All right, this one is in tie-dye. Okay, interesting. So that's a little bit slower. Now you do get a nice slow motion view of the ship going through, and then look at that camera transition. Honestly, that's pretty cool. Time dilation is intentional. Okay, so that's good to know. And so let's zoom out a little bit and then see. There's the Sinos coming in. More. Oh, this is beautiful. This is so beautiful, guys. Hope that you're enjoying that. Look at the reflection as well of the Galente nebula from space within the Sino effect itself. And there's all our capitals and supercapitals coming on field. This is so beautiful. And so what we're reflecting is, or was it? Let's try and take a look. Oh no, it's this one right here. There we go. So you get the Galente Nebula. I was looking for it. Here is Cloud Ring. And you can see, so the one behind the effect here. And then if I turn and put, could I find the Cloud Ring one here as well? Probably, I'm basically on the wrong side, I think, for that. But this is very, very cool. Love it. Looks beautiful. And we're holding quite nicely at around 60 FPS. I'm happy with this. Almost 200 in local. We're definitely missing some players. I'm gonna risk a click. If anybody needs a fleet invite, please use the agency. So I'm actually gonna use that now to take a look at it. Ooh, fleet W has increased to 141. Fleet X is still at 125. We have taken the lead in numbers. That's nice. And maybe this lower tie-dye, this tie-dye will cause some edge cases for people in warp or taking that jump. We're still only at 200, and there's 250 people in the fleets. So you would think we could go higher. We're slowly still going up. And then I saw some players go in that direction. We'll maybe slowly move in that direction as well and see what happens next. And can I get the Cloud Ring effect? So it's still the Galente Nebula, and then on the opposite side, yeah, there it is. There's Cloud Ring. That is so beautiful. Very cool. Warp to AUB. Well, right click, Stargates, AUB, warp within, and jump immediately. All right, well, we'll do that. Right on contact. And we're still in tie-dye at 30%. So we'll get a slow motion warp. There is a little bit of movement. A Titan pushing on ahead. He was already aligned and ready to go. There she goes. Not fully aligned with the module, but managed to do it. I'm still aligning as well, as a lot of players past me, but we still have some behind me as well. And here is our warp in tie-dye. So, all right, it's going okay, pretty smoothly. And then here on the overview, from time to time, you'll probably see some ships pass me. We're not a fast warper. Couple sinos on the overview, that's all okay. And yeah, man, very nice place. This is also something, being now in Minmatar space, was pretty interesting. Actually took a frigate from Rennes to Jeddah. No, to Dodixie actually. I ended up not going all the way to Jeddah, but to Dodixie. And then during that travel time, watching the background change from that Minmatar, pretty darkish background, I would say, and then slowly going to deep space, where you really weren't in a nebula anymore, and then you could see the Galente one and start approaching that. It was really cool. When you're very sedentary, you basically get used to your background. Space background, but here, when you're more traveling, more mobile, or living as a nomad, which I'm doing at the moment, you get all those different views. It's really very, very cool. Oh yeah, and I have to jump on contact, so let's do that. And yeah, let's take a look at the transition if we can, while in tie-dye, and then probably to a system without it. So I gave the command, there's the camera transition to the back of the warp gate. You push through and your ship actually catches up to everything, pushes through, and here we go. That felt okay. Honestly, that felt quite alright. And then we're a little bit closer to the Galente Nebula, so everyone is actually coming from deep space. Let's see if I can find the point of origin there somewhere. There they are. Probably that one little star right there. Look at that. It has to be, right? If you look at where this warp comes from, that was the star system we were from. And we went quite a bit closer to both Cloud Ring and the Galente Nebula. Very cool. AUB, we're still here, so that is fine. Still in low sec, that's good as well. Let's zoom out a little bit. Small ships are here. 105 in local. So far for me it's going well. Although I'm a little bit surprised at, oh, it's the tie-dye, right? Of course, it's all of those supers all the way back there in that star system where there's heavy tie-dye. So you can imagine actually over there, time is progressing a lot more slowly. And so all those big ships, they need a long time to actually do the warp that we did, even longer than we needed. And so as they warp in here, they're passing through that time anomaly, making their way back to regular time-space like ours. That is also kind of crazy to think that around that little dot, we actually may still have like some Titans in warp towards the gate. And so that is why we're only slowly building up to 140 at the moment. I think I can grab a drink then. So that should be okay. I mean, we are here to try and break stuff. 155 to 133. We're slowly edging to 300 players on this test, which starts to be quite respectable. And they're still slowly streaming through here. And our first Titan on the fields. Quick look in mass questions. Okay, someone asked for help, but not sure audio was synced properly that time. I haven't noticed any audio anomalies or anything like that up to this point. 182. I think we're slowly getting to... well, it's almost 300, so we still need a little bit of time. And it's exactly as I said. The dreadnoughts, the larger ships, are starting to rejoin us here. Couple of Zenithras on the field. Okay. And let's see, quickly take a look here. How many more do we have to do? We are in AUB. So Renates, and in VIL is normally where we'll have the fights. All right. 222. Everyone is gathering up. Right. RAN and hold. Stargate REN and hold. Excuse me. As those that have actually read the message of the day before getting in on this mass test, quite a few of them were ready. So here we go again. This should be a little bit smoother. Oh, and that's actually the upright way. All right. Then the last one, because we don't have to deal with tie-dye anymore. But yeah, this is the test, right? We have to try and get as many circumstances done as possible, so that's definitely good. Maybe I should also I have these modules that have an effect. I kind of wonder what will happen if I have these on and then we try to go through the gates. Maybe I should stagger them a little bit as well, try and get them to keep going a little bit more. Something like that. There we go. And then again. There should be effects now. Gate is selected. 250. Alright, we're getting there. As, yeah, my last pet peeve here, honestly, with the immersion, right? This big ball of ships. If we could have some logic there, that would be so cool, but that may be very hard with the current physics. As poor battleships getting bumped basically by all of the big ships. There comes another one. Very busy here, and I kind of want to be decently close so that I can try and keep an eye on this. So there's the effects. Point 3. More ships coming in. Sinos jump, and alright, so we're actually probably gonna all do that together this time from the gate, both gate taking and Sinos. Last time we were basically not in the same spot, and this time we'll try and do that. Okay. Subcapitals, we can jump. Okay, an Edencom Fortress this time. Let's see if there's an effect or anything. No, I'm not seeing that. But the jump itself, pretty smooth. Not seeing any real problems. So that is good. And then VIL. Not sure if this is already the last align, but this worked. There's the Sinos. And then the gate being hit very hard. And again, there's the star system we were in. There's Cloud Ring. This time it's not really noticeable difference. But it is very, very cool. Man, big movement on these Titans. And an explosion back there. That's generally not the plan at this point, but okay. 214, yeah, definitely. Yeah, goodbye. Poor Ragnarok. Really pushed off. As we slowly align. Warp to the VIL gate and hold. Stargate VIL. Warp within 0. This time I was ready. Good. Can zoom out a little bit. Modules are off. And I'm gonna do a little bit of camera. This all feels okay, to be honest. Pretty good and responsive. There we go. I'm maybe going to try and move just a little bit so that we don't end up in that big ball again. As Dress comes in again, 250. Yeah, that'll be interesting on the grid when everything starts to use their weapons as well. And was that a shot being fired? So let's... Yeah, there's definitely someone doing something. Back here. Eden Gum gun... Oh, I've never seen those fire actually. There's the Eden Gum gun stars, since, you know, I'm neutral. Fleet W. Jump 2 and prepare for the fight. Let's see if there's any more enemies of... Ah, too bad. I was just too late. So that's... Alright, if Edencom doesn't like you. Another thing to keep in mind when you're participating in these moss tests and things like that. You never know when we're traveling to one of these Edencom systems. And here again, jump 2. That's... Honestly, that is smooth, and you do keep that connection with your ship, I feel. So, I like it. I like it. I think it's pretty nice. We're going to orbit this one at 10 this time. There's already potentially an enemy enforcer if we want to go after him. Some armor reps going out. Fleet W, jump, prepare to fight. I'll just get the medium drones out as well. Let's activate this stuff. Booster, kind of don't like the amount of sound it does. I think it is. So you have a little bit of a hum from the tracking computers, but if I activate this one... Oh, alright. That feels a lot more reasonable. Let's put it all on then. And yeah. Here's our fleet. That's our Stradios. Fine. Quick look at the numbers. 154, 137. And some more non-fleet members coming in here. Interesting. I'm going to wait for the actual command here. Boosts are going up. Oh, and what's my optimal? I don't even know. 17 kilometers. Alright. Am I missing something? There's so many here. Lots of capsules as well. Mr. Overdose. Fleet X. Jump and fight. PvP is now allowed in Villiers or something like that. Alright. Please be aware that you might have to adjust safeties. Oh. As we are in low sec. Let's do that. Disable safety. Confirm. And let's see what we want to go after first. Tempest Fleet issue. at 20 should be hittable. Drones are at the ready as well. Oh, he's already he was already almost done. There's that Stratios. I'm actually gonna try and maybe approach him a little bit. Activating. Ooh, and yeah, they don't like just fighting here in low sec, but it is the server luckily, so that's his shields gone. That's a big hit. Ooh, and my acolytes are not helping. Is that changing as well? Interesting. Let's take a look at that again, this time on the Gila. As we're all going criminal. But that's fine. So Gila at 16 should be right on my optimal. I'm actually gonna keep that orbit at 10 on the gate. We'll see what happens there. And oh, this time my acolytes did come in. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what happened here. Enemy damnation would be important to try to take down. Gila should be shield fit. Let's see what happens here. Performance 50 FPS, that's quite okay. I'm taking a little bit of shield damage. I don't necessarily mind at this point, and I get a little bit of audio crackling. May just be my headsets. It is an old one, but just getting a touch of it. I'm not sure what to make of that just yet. Almost have shields. That one is down. Yeah, gonna try and take down that damnation with the rest. Have shields, so this is up. And here is the fight with some fireworks as well. 40 FPS, I feel pretty good. Can we see the Zenitras? Are they firing at something? That would be cool as well. They're on the field, but they're not yet doing anything. I'm not even really spotting tie-dye, which is interesting. Probably getting some reps as well. That one is halfway down. That's a Doomsday. Let's see if we can spot it. Ah, there it goes. Beautiful. Very nice. Damnation slowly breaking. I'm gonna stay on. Oh, got a big rep though. So maybe we should try to switch to something else. Can we try and break a Pilgrim? A Vexor should be doable as well. Oh, can't target him. Why not? Loki targetable. Sigil. Since we're a pirate now anyways, might as well give that a try. There we go. Let's see if we can... Oh, yeah, there we go. Let's see if we can hit that... That's an ominous noise, which I don't like. But there we go. That's a good hit on that Pilgrim. And, okay, still a little bit of crackling. I'm not sure if it's going to come through on the recording. When I'm zoomed out, it's not there. Damnation fully repped, so their command chip... Oh, and I'm actually losing drones here. Pay attention, let's go. Adding some more. Loki, Sigil, anything 17-ish kilometers. That's not too big. Cerberus, Claymore. Good look at that. There we go. Another Doomsday. Zenitras are starting to fire as well. Let's see if we can add some pressure on that Claymore. Security status has been lowered. Not even sure if I see big hits on that. Not oh, 571. Okay, alright. We should be able to break that. Very good. We're holding down to 30 FPS, less than that. So now we're in full swing action. And look at at the Triglavian dreadnoughts. Those beams coming down on these titans. That is a lot of them. All right, next targets. Cerberus. Yeah, that's fine. Hawk could try a really small target next. Then we've got lots of fighters and things like that. Let's see if I can hit him. Drones, big laser beam. He's in a small one-on-one fight, and now all of a sudden he's being sideswiped. He's on my optimal, so that should be good. Let's save my fleet member. Down you go. Loki doesn't have that much anymore either. Engage. Good. Let's see what's next here. And then when there's only the big boys We are gonna get in trouble. Let's get our drones on the transports. And am I still on the combat tab? Yeah. So many fighters here. Maybe I should look at removing that. We still have a Gila at 28. And Gila at 18 as well. And lost all of my small drones. Alright. Let's go. A Leshak to target. Maybe even a bot. Let's see about that. Ooh, yeah, definitely want to try and help take him down. Let's go. How are things going? There we go. We're actually done with the official part of the test, so I can try to shoot some more stuff. We've been going for almost 40 minutes. That's quite okay as well. Let's see if we can break the Leshak, but of course it's the big boys that are dominating the visual action here. Lots of doomsdays. And then look at all these red beams focusing on that Nyx. That's very cool. The deadly Triglavian fleet here. Sigil is at a good range now. Hope that we can take the Leshak down. He's breaking. There we go. Let's see if we can send Chris home or take his ship down, who's bravely kept his sigil on the field. And then yeah, the damnation really tanking well, unfortunately. 27. We get an Orca. Could take a look at that. And maybe I could test, let's see if there's like Dragonfly and Cyclopses. Because that sigil is well tanked. Pretty impressive actually. Let's see what we can do on something like that. Can you even hit that? Okay, that did hit a little bit. As the Doomsday fight. Honestly, oh, poor drones. Can they try? Alright. They made it out with just a sliver. We are slowly taking that Dragonfly down, I think. It's actually taking decent damage. Let's see if we can take that one down. Another Doomsday loading. All the Triglavian dreadnoughts being taken down. There she blows. And come on, take that Dragonfly off the field. There it is. So that does work. How well do we... he's at 35. It's going to be a little bit too far. Maybe we can still try and do like a little bit of damage. See how it is with the tank of this Orca. And what I could do is, well, I've got a combat timer on me, so that would all take quite a little bit of time. But my shields are holding, my cap is still doing well. Orca is breaking as well. Pretty nice. And local, still 200 people. No tie-dye. Alright, 30 FPS. It's not the 60 we would all love to see, even in this situation. As a massive explosion in the background. And the Avatar wreck that's still on the field. Very cool. Alright, for the end here, I'm basically gonna try and do a little bit more like zooming and looking around. So here is the Orca. That is slowly breaking. He's now in structure. Does he have a lot of it? Drones are still up. That is good news. Anything not too big for me to go after? A broadsword? Could start targeting that. Take a look at it. Damnation still being hit, but tanking stuff easily. And yeah, lots of structure on this Orca. He's only slowly going down. So that's pretty cool. Let's see here. That's a lot of missiles being fired, like an attack run by our Sacrilege. Look at that. That's pretty cool. There goes the Orca. Changes skin. Explodes. Let's see if we can put some pressure back on that damnation. Ooh, my capacitor is actually empty here. Interesting. So we'll need to save a little bit, or let's go take a quick look here. What's the Garmer doing? He's sitting there. All right. Unfortunate. Oh, and getting blown up as as we get even more doomsdays. And I kind of do still want to go take a look at these guys as well. Honestly, if you're seeing something like that siege structure or one of your big ships, you do feel like you're in a lot of trouble. But alright, it's gonna take a little bit of time for me to like get my cap back. Ooh, but that damnation is finally breaking. See if I can fire a couple of shots at him. It's being fully focused. And as we do take down the enemy command ship, I'm gonna... Oh man, he got a big boost. Man, another big boost. They baited us. They actually baited us, these bastards. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. A look at the latest mass test in EVE Online. Quite successful, and I like both features. I like it for the immersion, and getting into some fleets could be interesting on TQ as well. So that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.